Robot electricity. Speak soft to me in binary.
And joining us now at Kobo's Innovation Cafe is our very own Chris Abel. And Christine and I are dying to know about this little data drone dress.
This is fantastic. So it's for an upcoming event called Make Fashion in Calgary. Every year they have this electric runway with all these designers that come out with dresses that light up, that tweet and read your brain and all sorts of stuff. But for the first time, they're going to have a drone dress. And this is by two designers here in Toronto, Lindy Wilkins and Hilary Predko. And so, yeah, the first dress that actually uses drones. I asked them, of course, okay, how does this work?
Our drone dress is based off the idea of like a witch's familiars. It's going to have two drones that are holding up the train of her dress as she walks down the runway in this fantasy-esque style of these two creatures kind of floating behind her. Each drone is controlled by a laptop and a drone pilot, and the code kind of has a bunch of pre-programmed sequences in it. So it's a combination of the drones doing sequences of motions synchronously and also a pilot kind of ensuring that the drone doesn't hit anybody.
So the dress has both fans and lights in it. So she'll be self-illuminated and the fans are going to be blowing some additional silk at her hips just for, a little bit of swagger.
In the world of drones, they're not super dangerous. We've all been hit by these more than a couple times, and they sometimes leave bruises, but they're not so bad. And we've programmed in some safety measures, so when they do get caught up, they just stop and fall to the ground.
Well, this is something that's only for performance in a controlled environment. I would not recommend you are to go on a walk to the park wearing a drone dress.
Okay, so the big night will be April 1st. You can get tickets at makefashion.ca. And if you can't get to Calgary, you can, go online and watch. They're going to have lots of videos and photos. Now, in the meantime, there will be professional models taking on this drone dress that night. But up until now, to make the drone dress, it's been Hilary's sister, Alana, who's had the task of wearing the drone dress as they figured this out. So I asked her, what's it like to wear?
Honestly, it's surprisingly comfortable because it's made with elastic that is sticky on one side, so it doesn't move around. So you have a lot of mobility in terms of wearing it and moving around and not feeling like it's going to be falling all around. It just stays with you, and that's really fun. Though it is really hard to pick up things on the ground because you have a big peplum all around you and a lot of fabric. The thing about avant-garde fashion and fashion in general is that you tend to have a lot of loose fabric or a lot of pieces that need to stay in place. So it's a fairly traditional thing to tape things to yourself or have something stuck to you. The thing that I find the most fun about it is that when the fans are going, you have sort of little ghosts because it's silk, right? And so it billows in the wind that's being created. So it's sort of moving all around you, and it's a very fulfilling sensation to feel like you have this little creature that's alive with you walking around. So that's really cool.
Now, yesterday we had Jane G, a game developer, on, which was interesting. We don't see many female game developers, but we also don't see many female Wikipedia editors.
Right, yes, that's been a big problem. Around the world with Wikipedia, most of their content is done by men. In fact, it's estimated it's about 9 to 10% of the editors out there. This is a volunteer website, are only women. Very, very low. So to encourage more women to get involved, to create content for Wikipedia, artandfeminism.org held an event at the AGO to encourage lots of people to come in to add more content, but also to try to, address some of the subjects that don't get addressed on Wikipedia, like Canadian art. Here's Amy Furness, who's the head of their library and archive at the AGO.
There's sort of a prevailing common understanding of what Canadian art is about, the household names, which are very few. Most people can't name a lot of Canadian artists, so making sure that information is available to people who might start to ask questions about who is this artist? What is this name? There's hardcore Wikipedians, and sometimes they like to show up and edit together, so some of them will come, which is great because they share their expertise. But most of the people who come have not edited before. So we always run beginner tutorials, teach them the basics, teach them sort of the style and the rules and the code, because it's all sort of code-driven, and that's not comfortable for everybody. And so we try to get over that initial barrier of how to do it. A lot of it is an exercise in empowering people, especially if you're talking about art and more marginalized communities. The prevailing histories and the narratives have excluded you, and you have to really struggle to find ways to right that imbalance. Wikipedia is a place where anyone can contribute to that narrative.
And of course, because she's the head of the AGO library, I did ask her if she could recommend a favorite book.
I started reading T.H. White's The Once and Future King because I loved The Sword and the Stone when I was a kid, and I read that one to my older son. What I didn't realize about that book was that when you put it together with the other 4 books, that it's not really for kids at all. The author, T.H. White, was apparently just horrified by the advent of World War II. He was a conscientious objector and kind of went into seclusion and wrote these books that really deal with the really brutal way that human beings can deal with conflict.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's your favorite story? Find it on Kobo.com.
Kobo makes it easier to access the stories you love and discover new ones in an instant. Over 5 million ebooks, a personalized reading experience, and points earned with every purchase. Visit Kobo.com today and open up.